I'm convinced that every single girl has that one guy that the guy either never liked them back or the guy just never gave him a chance, that like that girl will literally drop anything to be with.
Yeah, so that's called limerence. It's a thing. Limerence is a psychological term that you could think of as a really intense crush, but it goes beyond that. It almost borders obsession. Anyone can experience limerence of any age, any gender. It's not just women towards men. Typically, it is a romantic attraction that has not been reciprocated. The person experiencing limerence has what is called a limerent object, and that is the guy in this situation, the guy that she's talking about. It can look a lot of different ways, but one way I see it manifesting itself quite frequently, and we'll just use women and men as the example here. So a woman will get love bombed by a guy and feel really strong emotions towards him in the beginning, and then he disappears. And this woman is very intelligent. She likes a challenge. She wants to win him over. And she thinks, if I can just do X, Y, and Z, I can get him to like me back. And so she obsesses over him. She starts to figure out what he likes. She starts to think about different types of situations where she could win him over and make him like her back. She will wait on him. She will wait around for hours just to see him for 5 minutes. She'll bring him lunch at work, even if he doesn't want to actually sit and have lunch with her. She just wants to see him for a split second. And if this sounds like stalking, limerence can lead to stalking. Doesn't always. It's a very intense emotional connection to somebody because you have put this person on a pedestal. You have decided that how this person feels about you is going to change how you feel about you. It's a codependent relationship. And it can look a lot of different ways. That is just one example. But the only way you deal with limerence is by cutting off the limerent object. You cannot see him anymore. You have to block him. If he calls, you have to say, nope, we're not going, we're not doing it. You have to do the work on yourself. You have to do the internal work to know that you deserve more than someone who doesn't want you. In the end, you can only have a limerent object with someone who is not fully committing to you. I've heard of situations where people felt limerence toward their significant other, and that is an interesting case study that I've never really quite understood, but it does seem like their significant other was avoidant in some ways and so was not actually fulfilling their needs, and so they sort of put them on a pedestal and was trying to make them fill their needs. It's a psychological phenomenon. It can get very complicated. It can come in many different forms. I'm just giving you some examples. But you don't have to succumb to it. You can break that obsession. You can break that infatuation. I have one that got away and I want nothing to do with him ever again. And I would say I experienced limerence towards him at some point. You can do it. You can break free of it. I promise. You just have to work on yourself, and you have to realize that you are worth more than what you're putting yourself through. You are worth more than how you're allowing him to treat you. And ultimately, one thing that helps is recognizing that you also dehumanized him in a way. You put him above you. He's not above you. You're at the same level. You're not seeing him as an actual human being, because who he is a person that does not want you back. And you're not seeing that. You're not truly seeing who he is. And that is dehumanizing him also. You're using him as a toy, as a game to help you feel better. And that's not going to work.